Right, so today we have a kind of a long video. I want to talk about jlandkev's video about why to become a YouTuber. And he says it's a little ranty. I don't think it's as ranty as he thinks. But I have a couple of opinions about that. And I also want to talk about some of the other things. And I also want to try these new cool graphics, maybe. We'll see. All right, see you in a minute. Alright, so we got a lot to talk about today, and I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes, but it seems unlikely. So we're going to be talking about jlandkev's video, and the link for it, I'll throw one here as well as down in the description below. And it's kind of it's kind of an old conundrum. Why do people start YouTube? Why should people start YouTube? Why should people not start YouTube? Kevin's point primarily is don't do it to become rich, and I generally agree with that. Although Kevin, you know, yay, but I think there's a couple points that I do disagree with, and a couple of points that I really strongly agree with. So no offense intended, just comparing some thoughts and some notes on stuff. So Kevin talked a little bit about his history with YouTube and when he started back in 2006 in October. And that's really impressive, and continuing to do channels. How many channels do you have? I'm not sure. I only know of the 2 for sure, but I have a feeling there might be 3 or possibly 4. But talking about the beginning of the partner program and how before that there was no money, and now since the partner program began, there is money. And his quote was from about 2 minutes in. Am I famous? No, of course not. Why do I do it? It's fun. It's a good hobby. Basically earns beer money. And that's a great reason to do it. And you're right in this part. People who are going to start YouTube need to understand that it's like a business. It's not going to pay out immediately, and it's going to take time to build up the audience and everything else. So kind of Kevin comes down on the side of don't start YouTube to make money. And that's where I agree with him. You don't want to start YouTube thinking that you're going to be rich overnight, you're going to be a huge success and stuff like that. There are people that have done that. SourceFed actually is a really great example of it. But SourceFed is a part of the Philip DeFranco company, and they had him to start. Plus, they also had $1 million in YouTube money to be able to put everything together. Money that they had to pay back, but you know, still, it makes a huge difference. Now, can somebody just get on YouTube and start doing it and make a living on YouTube? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that certainly in the first year you're going to be struggling. So I guess let me sort of wrap part of that point up in this. If you plan to start a YouTube channel and become famous and rich overnight, forget it. It's not going to happen. And Kevin and I agree totally on that point. Now, should you not start a YouTube channel because you only want to make money? I'm torn. Not really. I don't think so. I think that if you have made the decision that you want to start YouTube and you want to make a business out of it, and you want to try to build a media giant on YouTube, I think that now is absolutely the time to start. Yesterday was better, and tomorrow is just fine as well. But you need to understand, though, that it's not an overnight success. Overnight successes take years and years and years. So if you're going to plan to start YouTube and your beginning thought is, I want to make a lot of money, forget it. That part's not going to happen. If you start YouTube and think, I want to make some money, I want to try to turn this into a job, I think that is completely doable. Most people don't do what's necessary to do that. There are a few people in Japan making money on YouTube. I tried to put together a list at one point earlier, but kind of gave it up because it was hard to keep track of everybody. But the big point that I want to point out with what Kevin said is most people don't do what it takes to make YouTube a successful business. Kev talks a little bit about SXE Phil and Shay Carl and how they came into it, and I think Shay Carl was actually a radio host before he started YouTube, and YouTube was just an extension, ended up becoming an extension of that. But yeah, partially he got big because he knew Philip DeFranco and stuff like that. But I don't think it's necessary yet to know a big YouTuber and get shouted out by them. But what you do have to do is work really hard to put your videos together. I know for sure that if I wanted to make YouTube a living, I am absolutely not working hard enough. I have a couple of videos. I have moderate production value, but it's just moderate. Actually, I wanted to try this. Maybe it will be better if I change the background a little bit and see how that goes. One of the other things that Kevin had brought up was the idea of viral videos. I think as far as a shot of money, viral videos are great. It's fantastic. If you can happen to land a viral video, yay! But I don't think that that's really the way it's going to come down for most people. And as he pointed out, viral videos don't last. The average shelf life of a viral video these days, take a look at the Harlem Shake thing. Basically 4 months. That's all you get. And you're not going to get any more really after that. So the probability of you managing to put together a series of viral videos, unlikely. And if you go back and look at the Numa Numa guy, he tried to like rekindle that, and Gary Bralsma, and it just doesn't work that way. People don't. If you have a viral video, great. You know, write it as much as you can, but chances are you're probably not going to make a living off of that. You'll get a nice little spike and stuff like that, but it's not going to be a huge continuous income. So one of the things that I think was important that he said is you should do it because it's fun or you're trying to learn something. Generally, right now, what I'm trying to do is learn how YouTube works so that I can incorporate some things into a class that I teach and get people interested in doing YouTube and make sure that they know about the opportunities that they have and what the opportunities that YouTube can give them. Money is not necessarily a good reason to do it. If you need cash immediately, YouTube is probably not your best shot. One of the best ways to start is to do it for fun or to polish your skills on using videography or for editing or for, like I said, my little special effects. I have no idea if that's going to work or not. Motion is it's fun, but it's a pain. But one of the critical points that Kevin he mentions it a couple of times, but I really want to hit how important it is. And it's the development of community. If you can get a community around you and develop a community through things like Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and start to develop this network of friends like the J-vlogging community and have people that you can work with and work off of and work from. That is the kind of thing that lays the groundwork for a solid business idea. And if you think about it as a business rather than a slot machine, then you're probably going to do pretty well. Actually, let me restate that. You're going to have the opportunity for it to possibly go well. There's still a lot of things that have to fall in line that are not necessarily under your control, but with the way social media works, barrier to entry is 0. So if you do want to get rich quick, great, give it a shot, but don't hold your breath, just like a slot machine. So one of the points that Kevin and I really do agree on is why to get into it, because it's fun, because you get to meet people, you get to develop community, you get to show people what your passion is, how much you love whatever it is that you're going to be talking about. Overnight success absolutely doesn't happen. I mean, there are a couple of you're more likely to get hit by lightning. So Kevin brings up Wasabi Cars as a good example of somebody who's working towards working on his channel and doing it passionately, talking about what he loves. Now, a couple of years ago, and every once in a while I'll go back and I taught a book called Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'll throw a link down in the description and maybe even one up here for the book. And I'll put a link on my website for it as well. Crush It, for me, it's one of those books that you read through and you get really excited. Ah, yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And it's one of those things that's kind of a shot in the arm. But one of the points that the author, Gary Vaynerchuk, who has a ton of videos on YouTube that are his keynote speeches, one of the points that he talks about is if you love something and you can talk about it passionately, then absolutely you should do it. One of the quotes from one of Gary's presentations, keynote speeches is, look, if you love Smurfs, get out there and Smurf it up. Talk about Smurfs, sell Smurfs, buy Smurfs, but use your passion for Smurfs to get in and make a business out of the culture, the context, everything that's around Smurfdom. Yeah, I was never all that big on Smurfs. One of them things. Child of the 80s, 70s. One of the things that developing a big community around you will allow you to do is make things that are not videos that your community can use to support you with. So his example was his book, and I think that's a great idea. He has a lot of knowledge about teaching in Korea and in Japan, and writing a book is a natural extension of the knowledge that he has, the experience that he has, and being able to share it with his community. His community can buy the book to help support him as well as get the knowledge about those topics. And down in the description below is a link for Kevin's book, and you should go buy it. Okay, I have two more points that I want to get through. One of them's a little uncomfortable, and the other is a little bit of a history idea. Okay, so the uncomfortable one. Women have an advantage on YouTube. I don't think so. I know the example that he's thinking of with the huge tracts of land and stuff like that, but I think that's an anomaly. I think that that particular situation, yes, that is absolutely a factor. Cute face, nice body, throw it up on camera, see what happens. Yes, you can get a pretty sizable following of people that are watching your videos for one reason or another, and you can probably end up getting to the point where you can make a living of it, but there are a lot of people that don't. And have you read through some of the comments on those videos? Not a place that I would really want to be. I would rather encourage people to find something that you're passionate in and talk exclusively about that. If you got good looks to go along with it, fantastic. You might have actually hit that jackpot. I don't. So do women have an advantage with YouTube? They used to, back during the thumbnail, sexy thumbnail era of YouTube, absolutely. But, Lisa Nova doesn't make videos anymore. She opened up Maker Studios. However you feel about Maker Studios. Our local celebrity is still out there doing videos, but I haven't seen anything from her in a little while. So it's great. If you have it, take advantage of it, but that's not the long-term goal. Take a look at the top 100 YouTubers. Most of them are men, for better or for worse. Take a look at the Becoming YouTube video, the response to the Becoming YouTube video that I did, and then I believe it's episode 7 on Ben Cook's thing, and there's a lot of arguments about women on YouTube, good and bad, and so it's worth taking a look at and checking out. But just because you're a woman or have big boobs doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to turn it into a living. To wrap that point up, do women have an advantage on YouTube? I don't think so necessarily. In Japan, I'm not sure. I'd need to see a lot more information about the audiences for YouTube Japan and how the demographics are set up for that. So if you've made it to this far, great, congratulations, thank you. I want to talk about one more thing, and then I'm going to shut this puppy down and do the 3 hours of editing that it's going to take. Alright, so this last bit is a little bit about the history of YouTube, and the reason I bring it up is because Kevin touched on it during his thing. He's talking about a person that he found on YouTube who lost their Google AdSense account, and then basically just said, forget it, I'm not doing it. It was all fake. I was just doing it for the views, blah 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 blah. So first, that sucks. It's a terrible thing, but this stuff has been going on since the absolute beginning of YouTube. If you take a look at the Michael Mwesch video that I talked about before, an anthropological look at YouTube. So if you look at that video and you come across Emo Kid something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But back in the day, you know, the whole real versus fake is a huge controversy, and it still continues today. Look at the fallout from Lonely Girl 15. People who watch YouTube want people on YouTube to be real. If they're coming in as a business, they want some sort of flag to know about it. And I think that's a good thing. I think the flag is probably appropriate, but it's hard to exclude people just because if they want to go in and do something that's not really them, or if they want to try out a new identity on YouTube. YouTube and identity are a really interesting crossroads. There's a lot of things that I do standing here that I don't do standing in front of my own classrooms. And there are also a lot of things that I can do here that I can't do in front of the classrooms, and vice versa. Things that I'll do in class that I would never dream of talking about on camera. Real versus fake is going to be with us through however long YouTube lasts. Should people be real on YouTube? Yeah, probably. Should they acknowledge that if it's just for business or just to make money? Yeah, probably. But with the way that the new partner system works, basically anybody can become a partner now, and it's going to change how YouTube works. I know there are a lot of people that have a lot of concerns about it's not the way it was, things are changing, people coming in with big YouTube money and stuff like that. They're going to crush us little guys and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to change. Things are going to be different. For sure, the way it was is definitely not the way it's going to be. Personally, for me, I am my persona on YouTube for the most part. There are things, of course, you know, this is mine and that's YouTube's. But am I here to make money? Yeah, sort of. If I can make a living, I'm not betting the farm on YouTube. If it comes to the point where I have to choose between doing YouTube videos or my job, I don't know, that's a tough day. Am I going to... Right now, today, if I had to make that choice, I have to keep the job because I've made enough for a couple cups of coffee, but I am by no means making a living on YouTube. Would I like to? Yeah, absolutely. Am I willing to put in the amount of work that it actually takes to make a YouTube video a profitable enterprise for somebody who doesn't have a media company behind them? Not yet. But I'm also not forced to at this point. I have my choices still. If for some reason I do lose my choices, then I will start taking a look at making YouTube a more serious endeavor. But for me, it's still just for fun, and so I can learn and talk to my students about what things work on YouTube and what things don't work on YouTube, and why they should start a YouTube channel. Alright, so here are my final words about why to start a YouTube channel. If you are looking for a fun hobby, if you are looking for a way to develop community and have something in common with people all around the world, absolutely you should do it. If you have a hobby that you are interested in, that you love to do, or you have knowledge of something that you love to do and can talk about it in front of a camera for 3-4 minutes, unlike this 20-minute thing, absolutely get out there and do it. If you're even moderately interested in learning how to do video editing or learning about media distribution or anything like that, absolutely get into it. If you are looking to make $1 million overnight, forget it. It's just not going to happen. If you are in high school or if you are in university, get your camera, start your YouTube channel, monetize it. There's no reason not to monetize it. Are you going to get rich? Probably not. Are you going to make enough money to be able to go out to dinner every once in a while? Absolutely. God, I wish I would have had this when I was going through university, because the jobs that I had sucked, and I probably would have put the 4 or 5 hours a day that I had to work at the jobs that I was at towards putting together good YouTube videos, because real work kind of blows. YouTube work can be really hard, particularly if you want to be good and you want to do it well. You have to think about it. You have to put some time into putting the videos together. Much more time than I do, by the way. And most importantly, you have to be patient. If you're going to try to make a living on YouTube, it's not going to happen overnight. Make sure you have a nice soft cushion that you can land on. and that you don't quit your $50,000 a year job immediately and say, all right, I'm going to go make YouTube videos and make it work. Some people might be able to do that. Will you be able to do it? I don't know. I don't know you. Is it possible to do? Yes, it's possible, but it's probably not going to happen in the first year, probably not going to happen in the second year, probably not going to happen in the third year. The key, have something that is important for you, something that you love, something that you have knowledge of, and something that you like to talk about. And then start making videos. There's no reason not to. All it costs you is a camera, and you probably have one at home now anyway. You have a computer, you're watching this video somehow. Get in there and do it. The best part about it is nobody can tell you no. I'm telling you yes. If you want to come onto YouTube and try to make a living, absolutely. And remember who I am. Send me a shout out. Or a check would be awesome. And for those of you in high school and university, get in it. Get to work. Start doing something. Zero barrier to entry, and you never know what's going to come out of it. You might not become YouTube famous. You might actually be able to turn this into another kind of job that will be able to support you in a way that you want and be able to have fun doing it. Get out there and get to work. I want to see your videos.